Sam Seder, Emma Vigeland on the Majority Report.
Just getting more water.
Should be right with us, ladies and gentlemen. Taco time for Bonzo. Someone please make fun again.
It's been pretty fun.
Uday and Kusei Lutnick. If you're a member, it's guaranteed that Sam will read every single one of your messages. That is not true. That abortion nurse. We love the MR coffee blend at our house, and my husband especially likes to ask me if he'd like a cup of Sam juice.
I don't like that.
I have a feeling that's not helpful.
I'm going home.
Brian just quit. All right, let's take a look at this. Listen, Donald Trump is teetering. I should also say that according to my Trump
Period calendar.
Monthly calendar.
yes, Trump was supposed to be juiced yesterday, so it looks like he's at the end of his run. He may be trying to push this into.
This is what he looks like.
Look,
Prize.
listen.
Never healthier.
A
He looks like he just smeared his face in mustard.
Listen. We're all going to end up there. Some of us may look like this, well after we're in the coffin. But here is Donald Trump. You'll recall, last week, I think it was, he said, we'll release the tape of the double tap strike. This week, he's forgotten he said that, and he's gotten very, very testy about it. And partly because this is, I think, more of a distraction than he wants, and partly because apparently, is this a black reporter?
Yes, and
so
a
we
woman.
shocked to find out that it is a black woman.
A black woman. So
He does not appreciate being asked questions by a black female reporter.
as a reminder, over the past month or two, really since the Epstein debacle, he's been completely melting down at female reporters. You got Quiet Piggy. He called another female reporter ugly, did he not? Stupid. This one, but the fact that it's a black woman, we know that triggers him very much.
I mean, his dad was arrested at a Klan rally.
Well, and also, Trump got a consent decree from the DOJ back in the early 70s saying you can't not rent to black people.
What?
You need to, you can't make a decision to not rent to black people because they're black. Oh.
Mr. President, you said that you would have Mr. President, you said you would have no problem with releasing the full video of that strike on September 2nd off the coast of Venezuela. Secretary Hegseth now says.
You said that. I didn't say that. This is ABC fake news.
You said that you would have no problem releasing the full bit. Okay, well, Secretary Hegseth.
Whatever Hegseth wants to do is okay with me.
He now says it's under review. Are you ordering the secretary to release that full video?
Whatever he decides is okay with me. So every boat we knock out of the water, every boat we save 25,000 American lives. That was a boat loaded up with drugs.
Pause it for a second. I just want people to sit with this.
Knock out of the water?
That boat was the one that we're talking about specifically was not headed to the United States. It was headed to Suriname. And this is according to the admiral. It was headed to Suriname, and then any drugs that were going to be brought on that boat, assuming it was in fact what they thought it was, would have gone to Europe. But he's saying 25,000 Americans were able to live. That's fascinating. Incidentally, how many hundreds of thousands of Americans died because you were pretending that COVID wasn't real?
Yeah.
But go ahead.
We knock out of the water, every boat we save 25,000 American lives. That was a boat loaded up with drugs. I saw the video. They were trying to turn the boat back to where it could float. And we didn't want to see that because that boat was loaded up with drugs just like everything else. But every boat we shoot down, and I don't know if you know, we're 92 or 94% down in drugs coming in by the sea. And we're trying to find who are the 6%. Because I don't know, people aren't liking to drive boats right now loaded up with drugs. But every single, think of that, every single boat we shoot out, on average, we save 25,000 American lives. Do you feel okay about that, Court?
Keep us safe.
Okay, I know my man. What about you? Are you okay with that?
Totally fine with
Are you
that.
admitting to releasing the full video?
Didn't I just tell you that?
You said that it was
You're
up
the
to
most
Secretary Hicks.
obnoxious reporter in the whole place. Let me just tell you, you are an obnoxious, actually a terrible reporter. And it's always the same thing with you. I told you, whatever Pete Hegseth wants to do is okay with me.
You know, it would be nice at one point if we see the other reporters go, excuse me, do you think it's appropriate to say that?
Just once.
Exactly. I just say like, shut up, or like, I mean, I wouldn't say that, but it's just.
Sir, you could easily do some sort of like, how dare you? Like the
yeah.
Brits know how to do this stuff. Like,
Right.
And
register.
it would
a
also be
complaint.
nice if these reporters who now, I mean, there's a clear pattern, right? Like the first time I could see like, okay, but that assignment editor for that reporter should be able to say to their reporter, hey, we got your back if you want to respond.
Exactly.
Like that reporter should feel confident in being able to say, and I don't blame her for not, but I'm saying that her editor or this multi-million-dollar entity that she works for should be saying to their reporters, we're okay if the next question is there, sir, aren't you just as obnoxious? Or something to that effect. Like this ritual humiliation that our press is allowing Trump to get away with without any pushback. I think it's a little bit unhealthy for the country.
Yeah. I agree with you. The colleagues should stand up for her for just like their own sake too, because like what's next? I mean,
Self-preservation.
the New York Times is suing the Pentagon right now because of their insanely draconian anti-free speech requirements that they were asking of the media. But this is all a part of like the rot that Trump has engaged in. It's insane.
You recall, what was it now? A month or two ago when the ICE brought in Black Hawk helicopters, had agents scaling down from helicopters apparently.
Yep.
Invaded a building in Chicago, ostensibly because it was infested with Tren de Agua.
Tren de Agua.
And they bust down doors, literally busted down a bunch of doors, tore the whole place up, took the black tenants, put them into one moving van, took the Latino residents, put that into another moving van, and then ultimately, weeks later, announced that none of the people that they arrested were Tren de Agua, that they did not have to have this SWAT, assault on this building.
I think there may have been one, but I don't even
Maybe
think that
there was
maybe.
a question, and I think ultimately that one was found not to be Tren de
Exactly.
Agua, but regardless.
I mean, they took children out of their beds, and
At
some
2
of
in
them
the morning.
some of them were nude, okay, and brought them outside and had them handcuffed.
And we were later told that ICE got the tip from the owner of the building. Well, at the time, we speculated that this was very much like the first Tren de Agua scare that took place over the course of the summer, last summer.
In Colorado.
And where it was basically a landlord who didn't want his tenants to be organizing and calling for repairs in the building.
Right. And also, I think in this case of Chicago, wanting to offload the property because this owner had basically, and I am stepping on the clip.
Perfect
Okay, thank
timing.
you.
Here is the tenants of that South Shore building, ABC 7 Chicago, reporting on the fact that that building is going to be shut down. Its occupants basically thrown out into the street.
A Cook County judge denied allowing tenants more time to move out of 7500 South Shore Drive. She called the building a fire trap for numerous safety issues. She says she's trying to protect the tenants by getting them out of a dangerous situation. Some residents tell us they don't have anywhere to go.
We are in an emergency situation. Some of us are still stuck in this building. Some of us have been stuck in this building. Friday is our last day.
Tenants of 7500 South Shore Drive have 4 days to move out. They are being evicted after weeks of legal action over dangerous conditions reported in the building. Some of those conditions allegedly left after federal agents raided the building in September. The Trump administration released a highly produced video of the incident.
It took a military invasion to get the city to pay attention. We did not cause this building to deteriorate, and yet we have to live with the consequences of it. We did not call ICE to raid this building, and yet me and my neighbors had to deal with those consequences.
A judge appointed a receiver last month to coordinate closing the building and relocating tenants. Today, the judge denied an extension for tenants to stay in the building beyond Friday, calling the building a fire trap. Some of the tenants formed a tenants union. All parties seem to agree the building is unlivable. But some tenants say finding another place mid-month, mid-winter that's affordable has been difficult. And they say they haven't been getting the help promised.
People have been trying to get out of this building, right? It's not that people don't want to leave. It's not that people are dragging their feet. It's that it's hard.
I don't have anywhere to go. I'll be homeless Friday from where it stands now. I don't have anywhere to go.
Where are we going to go, America? We still trying to figure that out. It's a few days left.
Today, the judge also denied a motion asking for $7,500 for each resident to locate, saying tenants are being offered a fair amount to relocate based on their rent. Meantime, advocates for Southside Together are urging the tenants to take the money that's been offered to them, and they've set up a fund to try and assist remaining residents.
I mean, you're living in a place that everybody agrees is uninhabitable. Why wouldn't that rent amount be enough to move, go into a new place, last month's rent, generally in places like this, security deposit. Now we're at 3 times rent, and then you pay your first month's rent.
It's there's been reporting in Chicago about the amount of distress calls that had been made to the city prior to the federal raid. Block Club Chicago is like a local paper there, has done some good reporting on this. Basically showed that 500 calls to 311 were made about the building between October 1st, 2021 and October 1st, 2025, an average of 1 complaint every 3 days. That's higher than the average for the rest of the city by a long shot. And it appears that this landlord wanted to offload this building. So one of the ways you do that is neglect. You don't answer calls. You allow conditions to deteriorate. Another way that you can do this if you want to accelerate the timeline is have the federal Gestapo come in, break a bunch of windows, tear apart people's apartments, as they did. I mean, you see some of the footage. They destroyed people's apartments, like, let alone the human trauma for these children. They destroyed people's property with no recourse. And the landlord's happy in that instance. And now this is the final step, because the landlord wants to offload the property for their own financial interest, and the tenants get nothing.
I mean, the landlord is this person named Trinity Flood, a millionaire from Wisconsin, made their millions apparently in mobile homes, Slumlord, in other words, and bought this property up for significantly higher than the previous purchase price, expecting it to just print money. And when that's not done, when that doesn't happen, it becomes a loser, because it turns out that you actually have to do something. You can't just like buy something and the money roll in. You have to like maybe do repairs on the gas and electricity. When that becomes a problem, instead of doing that stuff and putting up some of your millions of dollars that you've made, charging people to live in your trailer parks in Wisconsin, because you're not even there in these news stories. Like all parties, well, where's Trinity Flood in that news story?
Right.
They're not even asked. It's an absentee landlord, just states away. Well, get the government to come in. And of course, this was always what this anti-immigration shit was going to be. Donald Trump himself used undocumented Polish labor to remove asbestos from Trump Tower, his prize accomplishment 40 years ago. They know this is the system. This is what it's intended to do.
And it's just, we're seeing how immigration enforcement is used as a disciplinary force in a variety of different contexts that protects wealthy people and just capitalists in general, property owners or business owners. Immigration enforcement is incredibly useful if your employees are raising hell about, say, conditions in the workplace. You can threaten to call ICE on them. If
or
they
you
want
have them
more...
do the work and then call ICE, and you don't have to pay for their
Exactly. Wage theft is the number one form of theft in this country, and many of the victims of that are undocumented immigrants. And then in terms of the enforcement of like a landlord like this, a slumlord like this, or in Aurora, Colorado. In Aurora, Colorado, the slumlord in that instance was heavily connected with the Republican mayor, I believe, of Aurora, or one of the Republican officials in the area, and was working with them, it appeared, to basically oversee this raid, and so that they could do the same thing like what we're seeing in Chicago.
Let's go to the IMs. Ohio Dad, you start off the stream with ho, ho, ho. Are you surrendering in the war on Christmas this early? Well, it's called hiding behind enemy lines. Best of the morning to the MR crew, says Corporations Ate My Baby. Good luck with all the news. Emma, cook the haters. Sick sup economy. I could honestly listen about monopolies and antitrust stuff all day. It's really important stuff and should be at the top of the DNC's priorities to run on.
Oy.
Hakeem Jeffries is concerned about what more he can do for AI companies. So,
no sleep till Emma. Did Scott Jennings and Jeff Flake have to wear name tags so you could tell them apart?
No, I just I was overstimulated and had a brain fart. Could not remember Scott Jennings' name.
Did you see the interview Anna Kasparian on Bill Maher where she talks about birthing persons, how her former coworker and former friend were mean to her about it?
No, I didn't see that. No.
Saw it through the Vanguard. Of course. It's the only way to watch that stuff.
Yeah.
Through the Vanguard.
Well,
that's honestly like whenever I see
her.
any of that stuff, it's because I've watched it on the Vanguard.
Yeah. I saw that she did Club Random, but yeah, I didn't watch any of it or see what the Vanguard covered.
Yeah, so they butt heads on Palestine too. But yeah, found time to talk about the important issues.
I found a way to sexually harass her while being pro-Israel. That was the only part I saw.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, it seems that's when you're in these right-wing circles, that guy that threw the tampon at her too. I mean, these are your new friends.
Is that show still around?
Her Talk?
I mean, that's sort of a philosophical
Was it
question
Her
at this
Talk?
point. It's still around, yeah.
Is that what the name of it was?
Her
Talk?
Take.
Her Take? Her Take.
Yeah. It's still around, but if a tree falls in the forest.
June Oliver, currently listening to my little one giggle at Ms. Rachel's Netflix show. If anyone has a problem with her, they've got a problem with me. Al Knipson, David Dayan, Edison Trust versus Ellison Trust, which is worse? And does history rhyme? Number 13, have y'all tried getting Jasmine Crockett on? We have not. Alex B. And we normal people talk to ourselves into buying premium products by saying, oh, it's expensive, but cost per use, it will last longer. Just Dank, 4-time. Sam, please show us your hands without bruises. I don't get it.
Trump bruises?
Oh, I see. Yeah. Crusty, no. I think that.
Not getting that kind of proved that I am.
Yeah, I was going to say, like a form function. Krusty Gnome, did Pam Bondi say at some point enough drugs were seized to kill 200 million Americans? Am I tripping when I heard that? I wouldn't doubt it.
People should be outraged by that. Sort of the frivolous deploying of the statistics, like every boat we will save 25,000 Americans. People actually die.
How many people are also going to die from just the rescission of Medicare?
Yeah.
Medicaid, and for not extending these subsidies.
I was it was in the break after we had a debate about this, but last night on CNN I was debating with the guy Tim, I can't remember his last name, and Scott Jennings in the break about the drug boat killings, and like we were talking about this. I'm like, okay, so if they're bringing drugs to kill Americans, are you okay with executing the Sacklers in the town square? Because that's essentially what they're advocating for. And then, Scott Jennings was getting upset with me and saying those are not illegal drugs. These are prescription drugs. And we were going back at it. And yeah.
Well, then why do they have to pay $7 billion?
Yeah, I could have said that, but I think we were coming back. It was interesting that was the one debate that carried over into the break.
It turns out what they did was illegal, at least under civil
Yeah,
law.
they pled guilty to federal criminal charges.
Yeah.
But no drones over their yachts.
Yeah.
But they're white and rich. So
Yeah. So
was it illegal?
Yeah. They're philanthropists.
Let's check in with number 5. Scott Besson was on, and he was giving us some of his the family history. Here is your Treasury Secretary, Scott Besson, and talking about his hard Scrabble life that he has to divest from.
This is
Nice
the
for him
farmer.
to get out of his overalls and put his suit on.
Since the agreement with the Chinese, they are going to buy 12.5 million metric tons. But Margaret, I'm involved in the agriculture industry. I run a soybean farm, and I can tell you,
you invest in it.
Sorry?
You own or invest in
And people in my family go out and work on it. I actually just divested it this week as part of my ethics agreement, so I'm out of that business, but I probably know more about any Treasury Secretary than about agriculture since the 1800s. And I can tell you
From an investment perspective.
Yeah. Knowing more about agriculture than any Secretary of the Treasury since the 1800s, like I wouldn't expect many of them to be experts in that.
Such a specific
do you
metric.
wonder, is he divesting because the farm is getting crushed because of these tariffs?
No, because his
It's
ethics
ethics.
agreement.
Because
Duh,
ethics.
he said it.
He's been in office for a year. Why is it taking him so long to divest?
He's been swimming in treasure for the last 6
He's been out in the field.
Yeah, right. Can't you see his calloused hands
I
and
was
the
gonna
corncob
say,
pipe that's
yeah.
in his pocket?
Planting the seeds by hand. and
Harvest
tapping
ends
the
early November.
Green Acres is the place for me.
My family goes out and works it. Please, like, come on.
I know.
I would
Who in
love to
his
see a
family is
documentary.
going out and working for it? His parents?
And what are they doing?
Honestly, they should play this, like, Scott Besson, like, play that up and play it in rural districts and areas where there are farms. I know that, like, some of us, definitely not me, were fooled by the Ann Selzer poll in Iowa. But that did indicate that the Democrats could be stronger there than we anticipate. And I don't know, going hard about these tariffs and what the Trump administration has done, total disrespect to the farmers in this country is a fruitful path forward if the Democrats are smart.
Well, we should also say that Trump just announced $11 billion bailout for farmers because of these tariffs, which is probably why he had to divest, because he didn't want. But his family's getting it. I mean, is his family getting it or not? Like, who's getting this bailout money?
All the soybean farmers in
Yeah.
this family.
Kowalski from Nebraska. Scott Besson, one of the best farmhands I've ever had on my farm. I've never had anyone shovel more shit than him. I just don't understand why he uses his mouth.
Oh my God.
Kowalski.
Whoa.
Get his ass.
All right, let's do this. Look, this is a not safe for work clip. And we've been talking about how there's this right-wing crack up. And again, I'm not like following this. It's a
civil war.
In many, it's like there's like almost like 4 different parties fighting in this war, though. I can't.
It's like Yemen.
Honestly, I can't follow it. I honestly cannot follow the various like sort of intricacies. The other day, Tim Pool had Milo Yiannopoulos on. Milo claimed on that show that Charlie Kirk was gay.
And everybody else.
In response to Candace Owens saying that Charlie Kirk was looking to get a divorce, I guess somehow implying that Erica Kirk was in some way happy that Charlie was taken out of the picture. Then Yiannopoulos went on to say that Benny Johnson was gay, and everybody knew that. And George Santos was like, "Wait, aren't you afraid of getting sued?" And Yiannopoulos was like, "I don't get sued because I've got the facts." And then Benny Johnson on Twitter said, "I have to protect my family." And then Milo Yiannopoulos went into
and said, "I look forward to discovery." And now things have gotten kind of quiet on Benny's end.
Benny
check for any
seemed to quiet
updates.
down, but apparently somebody took a shot, according to Tim Pool, at his compound.
He's very sensitive about the compound.
It sounds, though, like he has an idea of why they think they did it. It was because it had to do with all of this right-wing turmoil and about him, either like platforming people who are disagreeing with Candace Owens or disagreeing with Candace Owens or what. And then last night, I think this was last night or yesterday, Tim Pool just lost it.
Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt. Boop, boop. She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these fucking conservatives out there that send me these fucking messages have no fucking balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these fucking messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't fucking DM me like I did something for you as you cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which she's doing to me right fucking now.
Yeah, that was the...
I'm fucking done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give 2 fucking shits. No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a shit about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my fucking property, and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got fucking strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who trying to live there. How the fuck am I even supposed to sell this property? And, it's all lies. It's all hypocrisy. And it is for the purpose of making money. And she does not live the way other people live. And she claims she liked Charlie. She loved Charlie. And she is burning everything down that he built because she is evil. She is evil. And I'll say it again. This conservative movement is fractured. It's fried, whatever it is. Okay? Republicans are on track to lose the midterms. They were actually trending in the other direction until Charlie Kirk was murdered. Yeah. And this is the point, isn't
Okay,
it?
pause it. No, you see, this is where what interests me about this clip. It is simply not the case that Charlie Kirk's assassination hurt the Republican project. The Republicans were trending out. The big thing was the shutdown. I mean, you already saw a difference in the generic ballot where Democrats were trending better. But through the shutdown, it has progressed. And as Trump's policies progress, you can look at it in the disapproval numbers for specific issues. As that has grown, you have seen Republican chances in the midterms drop. And, this is part of it. It's like, okay, there's all this drama. That's all well and good.
The property value of the compound, yes.
Yes, all these things. But I don't care about the drama here. The problem is that, like, even this casual misstatement of fact about the Republicans' opportunities in the midterm is indicative of this entire world that they have built. Like, I honestly cannot quite follow what is going on here. Here's Mike Cernovich complaining Republicans in Congress have decided to toss the midterms. They want to lose their House and Senate majorities. Then Trump can be impeached again. This will create baggage for J.D. Vance and allow the chicken hawk warmonger establishment to take power back and do amnesty. And then Benny Johnson says this is exactly what's happened. A coordinated attempt to rip the MAGA base from the inside. Okay, this is relevant because, look, apparently Tim Pool thinks that he is being attacked, like literally, because he is pushing back on Candace Owens. He is saying that he's getting texts from other conservative talkers that they're afraid to take on Candace Owens. Meanwhile, you see Benny Johnson and Mike Cernovich spinning this new conspiracy theory. My point being is that all of these conspiracies that they live in, all of this sort of like fictionalizing of reality. January 6th was just a tour, and then it was just patriots, and then it was just boomers, and it was just whatever. All of this, like the we're going to have a civil war. They're saying this like a year ago.
Trump might win 49 out of 50 states in 2020.
And
is
that
what
at
Tim
least
Pool
is
was
like
saying.
just a bad prediction.
Fair
I'm just
enough.
talking about all of this entire, like we're going to bring InfoWars guys onto the show.
The
and
alternate
platform
reality they live in. Yeah.
Like they invented this genre.
Yeah.
I mean, like, going back to the John Birch Society. Mm-hmm. And it's certainly like you can find pockets of it across all ideologies, but the entire conservative, as he says, movement, their infotainment complex has trafficked in so many different conspiracy theories that there's literally like a war between conspiracy theories that are going on. Like, I could barely follow it. And then the one shred of like relevant material it's completely wrong.
Right.
I mean, like, just, you can look at the numbers and you can see this. And so they have built an entire house of sand.
Yes, and it's also in a way that tries to absolve Trump and appeases the cult of personality that has populated their audience. You notice that even Tucker Carlson won't take really direct shots at Trump. It's always some sort of subversion, or they'll look at an underling like Kash Patel or Pam Bondi. It's always someone that is hurting him internally, or there's a conspiracy internally within the party that's going to hurt their chances. And so it's exactly what you're saying, but it's also immensely cowardly and there to satiate the base that they have cultivated, because they are all a part of the cult as well.
And you talk about, Tucker Carlson. People forget this. When he left Fox, he rebuilt his audience by talking about how he was attacked by a demon in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Who woke up the next morning with scratches all over him because this devil figure that is like akin to like what was it, like Saul and I just watched it. Oh yeah, no, Stranger Things, like one of those like what are those called? Gordon? I can't remember. I don't either. It's a kid's show. But I mean, this is their entire. Like even just Cernovich right here, just talking about.
Can you put that back up, please?
Like,
I want to see the Cernovich thing. Yeah.
It's all just about coming up with crazy ass conspiracy theories that provide sort of like pre-digested answers, ones where you need to know nothing, where it's all just like these fictional stories. And now it is eating itself. It is like watching the snake eat its own tail.
Yeah, and it's so disconnected from reality or anything material that they can't even address what's happening with the policies or the fact that the Republicans are presiding over one of the biggest transfers of wealth in one bill with the one big ass ugly ass bill that's about to hit. The fact that they're kicking tens of millions of people off of their health care, whether it be the ACA subsidies expiring, allowing that to happen, or whether it be the gutting of Medicaid, and hurting Medicare as well. They can't even address the substance of it because they're living in a parallel universe. It's like what Naomi Klein spoke about with Mirror World. They are in their own ecosystem.
If we had a Democratic president, a Democratic Senate, and a Democratic House,
yes,
this show would be every day the driest MFer show that you could imagine, where we would be talking about different.
That was 2021.
This show has been that for probably a decade. At various times, but when they get power, they can't do anything because there's no policies behind it. Like, their agenda has nothing to do with making the country better in a way that provides any type of material support for the greatest number of people. It all becomes a culture war that you can only talk about so much. You can only talk about the lies about trans people ruining women's sports and taking over and changing it and gender stuff. You can only talk about this so much until people go like, we get it already. And then they have to just start spinning these conspiracy theories, weather machines. And that's the way, it's the way that Marjorie Taylor Greene made her name for herself and became the biggest fundraiser there. And then ultimately it just ate her too, because, and she had to jump out, InfoWars. And then it just keeps spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning until they decide to get off, like Milo Yiannopoulos on some level.
And that's why they're mad at Candace Owens. And just to bring it back to, wow, he really dropped the hard C word with the T at the end, which is in the UK, maybe that's all right to say, but that's pretty harsh words for a woman. And I know that he enjoyed that. But that's why they are upset about Candace Owens. And he's saying oh, she doesn't have a stake in this or whatever. She just has one fat guy. She's not really worried about her safety, whatever. The fact that she's being critical of both the Republican Party, with her anti-Jewish hatred that also sometimes sounds like anti-Zionism, but also her critiques of the rest of the media ecosystem, it's bothering them deeply because it's aren't we supposed to be all on the same team? But with the Republican administration being this unpopular, someone's going to break off, and she did.
And if you look at what creates fractures within sort of our, ecosystem, it is always policy or some type of strategy, or, is it incrementalism? Is it rebel? This is they're just talking about these bizarre conspiracy theories that range from, and look, we have this vacuum of information that the killer was supposedly arrested 3 months ago. And then all of a sudden everybody went radio silent when it became clear that they couldn't make, sort of anti-trans hay out of this, or anti-liberal hay out of it. And then they were just left with oh, okay, now what do we do? And they're all in some type of grifty business. And it was just the first person who went there.
Cernovich can't even be honest with himself when he says, allow the chicken hawk warmonger establishment to take power back. They bombed Iran and they're trying to go to war with Venezuela. They're fine. But Alex Perrine had this great piece, 2017, the long, lucrative right-wing grift is blowing up in the world's face. It says, you don't need to understand the GOP. You don't need to understand the alt-right. You pretty much just need to be in semi-regular contact with a white, reasonably comfortable male retiree. We are now ruled by men who think and act very much like that ordinary man you might know. And if you want to know why they believe so many strange and terrible things, you can basically blame the fact that a large and lucrative industry is dedicated to lying to them.
Yeah.
And I would just recommend that piece because it is just basically the lunatics took over the asylum.
And now, like all the lunatics that they have promoted are now like attacking them because this is like some type of like literal internecine war amongst them. Meanwhile, you got like Nick Fuentes is now sort of like, trying to mainstream himself, and he's, agreeing with Tim Pool. And it's all just sort of like in this weird milieu. And we're just watching, like, literally, it's like, on some level, like, I don't even want to like talk about it because there's a certain amount of like TMZ quality to this.
Yeah.
But it also, here's the thing. All of these people were intricately and intimately involved in getting Donald Trump into office and promoting these lies and creating this ecosystem. And it is fascinating, but also materially relevant into what's going on down, with all of this stuff. Who knows?
Exactly.
I don't know if there's any more that's relevant. Let's just play a little bit, but then I want to get to this other part.
Liked Charlie, she loved Charlie, and she is burning everything down that he built because she is evil. She is evil. And I'll say it again, this conservative movement is fractured, it's fried, whatever it is. Okay? Republicans are on track to lose the midterms. They were actually trending the other direction until Charlie Kirk was murdered.
That's not true.
And this is the point, isn't it? The most effective political assassination in history. And thanks to the likes of the vile cunt Candace Owens, she has turned Turning Point into the perpetrators of the crime that was against them. I don't get paid by any of these people. I'm not on good terms necessarily with Turning Point USA. They didn't invite me to their stupid event. I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
Oh my
They invited me
God.
back after I started criticizing Candace. I'm not going to your event. I'm over all of this shit. The last thing that I need to deal with is a bunch of cowards in conservative media refusing to stand up to her. Megyn Kelly, come on. I appreciate the kind words, but come on. Such fucking pathetic bullshit. And I get people saying, Tim, thank you so much for talking about it. I don't care.
See, that's what's so
I'm not doing a
fascinating.
favor for
is that,
anybody.
like, what he's revealing here is that all of them, they don't speak any truth to power whatsoever.
No, they're cowards.
They're afraid, and they're all they've all apparently been texting Tim saying, thank you for saying something. I'm too afraid to do it. Megyn Kelly has a huge platform. They all have huge platforms, but they also realize that they have created monsters, that their audience are full of deluded monsters, and they don't want to get on the wrong side of it. So they won't disavow them of their crazy beliefs because they don't feel like it's their job. It's their job to surf on top of those deluded beliefs.
That's what Marjorie Taylor Greene said. The same thing, that everybody trashes Trump behind his back, but nobody will come out and say
Exactly.
Yeah.
The whole edifice is built in that way. The whole edifice is built on that way. And
the fact that Charlie Kirk is at the center of it really just lays bare how deeply cynical it all is. I mean, when they couldn't unite around a conspiracy theory about the death of their colleague and monetize that effectively, they have fractured internally within like their own industry. This is not about the midterms. So like let's separate their little war between each other from the fact that the Republicans are harming the economy and hurting people, immiserating them, right? This is a separate thing. But it is interesting how you're seeing that play out.
the American public doesn't care about what's going on here with these things. I mean, their audiences do. These people can be effective in helping. Now they're just simply an absence of helping. And that's a problem because the Republican policies are very, have a bad effect on people. And in the absence of like more lies being spun to sort of support it. But all of this has been like, even the central aspect about Charlie Kirk, he was lauded as a free speech warrior, and no one ever pointed out that his organization was built upon and continued to blacklist professors in college universities, to literally shut down free speech. Like, that was the fundamental building block of TPUSA. They had college or chapters. And the primary function of those college chapters when it was founded was to report on professors. Like the entire edifice was built on anti-free speech. And yet they lauded this guy as a free speech warrior because he would go back to those same colleges and debate college kids in public.
Yeah.
And the fundamental contradiction there fell apart. And so it was interesting. And people are saying, you know, this is the first time Tim has ever sounded genuine to me. Yeah, he's legitimately angry. I think part of it is also, there was another clip I saw where he said, like, they're having to spend money on security. And, you know, when I was there a year ago, it was almost to the day, Tim had like made major cutbacks on staffing because I think they had overextended themselves with that Russian money. So who knows?
Moonlord's going to have to be the bodyguard.
But, you know, the drama is the drama. They can have fun with it. But what's really important is it's very, very telling because their entire apparatus in many ways reflects what has always been the MO of the Republican Party. Even going back to Paul Ryan. And Paul Ryan would talk about, like, you know, he had a fake story that he said was his that actually came from another person in Wisconsin, another like a state official, about a poor kid who didn't want to have free lunch at school. He wanted a brown bag lunch. And it was a fake story just to build up the idea that if you are poor or some way, or you rely on a free lunch, you don't have the same moral righteousness as someone who gets their own lunch. And that ideology is exactly why you got Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump gets on stage, and if you are morally unrighteous because you are poor, you are the most morally righteous if you are rich.
He's the
And so he sits on that
gospel
stage,
president.
exactly,
Yeah.
and he's like, "I'm a billionaire, so everything you say is wrong."
Yeah.
Because I have more money than you.
Jennifer Welch just talked about this, about how that he's basically a televangelist. She said this when she came on with me, and how his base of support is like a lot of evangelicals who already have that kind of framework in mind for somebody to admire, and they will willingly give their hard-earned money and donate to these people, regardless of the fact that it's quite clear that these are scams. And Trump fits that archetype perfectly.
It was like Mesmer, the Mesmer who people enjoyed this guy's snake oil salesman because they thought they were in on the side that was on the side of lying away from.
Yep.
In on the joke.
Yep.
Too much winning. We can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
That must have been from years ago.
That was 2016.
It sounds so much
You're gonna
more
be,
energetic.
That's when you're going to be tired of winning, Jag. And
Yeah.
now it's actually true for all these people. Like, they would be in such a better place professionally if he had lost the election last year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, we can be a victim.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. What is this clip?
This is a quick one.
It's a tech guy being normal.
Oh, okay. Jimmy Fallon had on Sam Altman of OpenAI fame.
Well, it'd be hard hitting, right? He'll probably talk about how AI data centers are driving up electricity costs for people around the country and using so much water.
Mysterious whistleblower deaths.
Yes, and that basically they're racing to get ahead of regulators because they know that this is going to be contributing to people's high electricity, as I mentioned, but also major climate disasters. They're using coal and gas and burning it all up.
No, they're gonna smash eggs on each other's foreheads while
Oh,
singing.
okay.
Incidentally,
Which Labubu are you?
use of AI has flatlined in the business world.
Yeah.
It really, all it's been effective at doing is maybe losing some jobs for some people. Again, a productivity gain, which will go only to the wealthiest people.
Yeah.
And let's see if Jimmy Fallon shakes his hair.
And do you use ChatGPT when raising your baby?
I do. I mean, I feel kind of bad about it because we have this like
genius level at everything, intelligence, sitting there, like waiting to unravel the mysteries of humanity. And I'm like, why does my kid stop dropping his pizza on the floor and laughing? Like,
Yeah.
You know? And so I feel like I'm not asking a good enough question, but it is, I cannot imagine having gone through the, like figuring out how to raise a newborn without ChatGPT. Clearly people did it for a long time, no problem.
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
so I know like it's clear.
Doesn't Jimmy's like lead into that question remind you of an infomercial where they're like, so tell me how these knives cut? Like,
Yes.
do you
Is it QVC or NBC?
Yeah. Do you use ChatGPT while raising your child?
Yes, and you can get ChatGPT in a variety of different colors. We've got pink.
How many nannies do you think he has working for his one child?
I bet he can't even answer that question.
He probably has nannies who subcontract to other nannies.
Has there ever been a more obvious PR-driven push to get somebody to sound more relatable? Hey, you know, this technology that's like being sold as something that could be also the death of humanity, which is also helpful, I think, to these investors because it makes it sound more powerful than it is. Maybe you just frame it as like something that's incredibly helpful to raise your kid. It's like a friend. But that is the plot of that movie that came out, that satirical Megan. It's literally the plot of Megan, which was, it's like a comedy horror sort of horror film. It was really funny.
It was good.
But yeah, with the doll that is raising the kid, who of course takes that too seriously, basically. But that's what this is.
Well, he's also trying to give a permission structure for people to use it for banal things.
Right.
Well, and they love to talk about stuff like that because if you just talked about it as like this is going to make all of us a lot of money, it's not that nice. That has to be implicit. So even like when it was NFTs and stuff, it's like, oh, all this crypto stuff, it can actually help the unbanked in third world countries.
Right.
It's like you don't give a shit about any of that. But this is actually a Jimmy Fallon special because a few years ago, this was what January 24th, 2022. So about a few months before.
By the way, Colbert's getting canceled, and this guy's still kicking.
But watch, this is one of the most amazing sort of in the same sort of thing of Jimmy Fallon sort of does marketing for a tech scam. Here's him with Paris Hilton.
But since then, Forbes has named you one of the top 50 most influential people in the NFT space. So congrats on that. You know what you're doing.
Thank you. I'm so proud. I love being a part of this community and being a voice and sharing my platform and just getting the word out there because I think it's just such an incredible thing to be a part of.
Yeah, I jumped in.
I know, I heard. I'm so happy I taught you what they were.
You did. You taught me what's up, and then I bought an ape.
I got an ape too because I saw you on the show with People and you said you got a MoonPay, so I went and I copied you and did the same thing.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
This is your ape.
Yeah,
We debuted.
it's really cool. The hat, the shades.
Now, how did you pick? Because you can pick your ape.
I'll tell you something. If you told me this was a clip of a movie of some weird sci-fi Black Mirror movie in the future, I would be like, this is pretty good. They did this well.
Yeah.
Like, that is
dystopian.
Oh my god. Okay, let's just play this next part where he asks her, how did he choose this monkey? I think her response comes from the heart, and then we can do that.
Okay, good.
How did you pick? Because you can pick your ape.
Yes, I was going through a lot of them, and I was like, I want something that kind of reminds me of me, but this one, it does. I think we made another version of it where he takes the hat off and blonde hair comes out.
Yeah, because you can do it now whatever you want.
Mm-hmm, animated version.
We're part of the same. We're part of the same community. We're both
community. They're part of the same community.
We both spent thousands of dollars on a cartoon ape.
Do you think he literally means a gated community in Los Angeles?
That is amazing. That is amazing. I honestly, they're talking about it's.
He must just go back to his green
I saw
room
it on
and just
Beeple.
cut himself.
I saw your ape on Beeple.
Something.
I think.
Yeah, a little bit more like that. Yeah.
Use MoonPay.
Well, folks,
They say.
Part of the same community.
the Epstein ballroom, idiocracy meets dazed and confused.
Yeah.
All right, couple more of these IMs, and then we're going to wrap things up. your boy Blue. Remember, now is not the time for primaries. Meanwhile, Senate Democrats are out there fighting the good fight, making sure Trump can't put his face on our currency. Bluestone, the creator of Netflix, may be a tad more left, but he is also a network state guy along with Reid Hoffman. No one wins with either merger. We have to, why even have antitrust if we're going to consolidate everything?
Yeah, I'll just comment on the no primaries thing. I think that's probably a shot at Zoran. I think you can go either way on the, wanting to primary Jeffries with DSA knocking doors on it. But I also think like he's the mayor of New York, and everybody who wants him to forego that responsibility and then just try to primary Congress, it seems a little bit like you're creating a.
It's stupid.
Yeah,
it's stupid. I imagine that there is a world where Mamdani can be mayor and have the resources and not expend the resources to challenge Jeffries. Maybe that's a second term or whatnot. But the equation is this. What is the most helpful thing for the movement? Is it Jeffries losing his speakership, losing his race, and then, I don't know, Catherine Clark becoming speaker or something like that? Or Mamdani fulfilling his promises that he's made? I think it's quite obvious that it's Mamdani filling his promises that he made are the most important thing to happen. Because if Mamdani fails, that is going to be the story for years to come.
Yep.
And now people can argue with Mamdani and say, like, you could have done both. And, okay, make the argument.
Well,
because
they did, and DSA didn't agree, and they voted on it.
Right.
So now it's
DSA
over.
already voted.
Exactly.
DSA voted. I mean, people can have opinions from the outside. But
Join
at the end of
DSA.
the day, DSA made their decision. And I think, it was easier to see this coming, I think, in the months leading up, because AOC has also been more supportive of Jeffries than you would maybe anticipate, given his ideology or, lack of effectiveness. It appears that the House Democratic Caucus has like a better opinion of him than, I don't know, we probably understand.
Or he's just not a priority for attack right now because maybe you
it's just
you
a
can't
question
do
of
it.
you have a limited amount of resources.
Right.
Where are you going to expend them? You
Right.
either make sure you take him out and hope that whoever replaces him is more amenable to moving left, and you have to know this stuff, or you focus on building your power. And the primary way that you're going to build your power is by being successful.
Right. And in terms of the timing of it too, the months leading up to the primaries in New York are going to be literally the most key months that Zoran has. It's going to be the first 6 months of his mayoralty, right? Because he takes office at the beginning of January. So leading up to a June primary, that's it. That's his agenda. That's it. And it's the same. And it's also he's going to need to be focusing on pressuring Kathy Hochul in that time period. So you can't wage a war on all those fronts.
It's also, he doesn't want someone who is the Speaker of the House who brings all the goodies to all the Congress people in New York State to be against him.
Exactly.
Actively working against him.
And it's the same reason that he didn't replace Tish as the police commissioner, despite the fact that the NYPD was horrific to the pro-Palestine protesters at Columbia, for example. He's banking that he'll be able to keep her in line, and he doesn't want to wage a war against the NYPD while he's trying to enact his agenda.
At least immediately.
Okay, 5 more of these. Kentucky leftist. I know I'm not the only one who noticed Emma called MR my show. She ain't wrong.
What was I supposed to say? Our show? Sam Seder's show.
Me and Nira's show.
Right. My girl.
Got real estate. I am a realtor, a real estate professional, and this story is appalling. FYI, sadly, I'm one of the few in my profession that believes housing is a human right.
Need more of you.
It's mine. There's a glitch on the Android app. Listen now, always plays for a few seconds, then stops, goes silent, and starts playing again after a few seconds. Took me a year to figure it out. I just restart and give up after a couple of times. Send an email to our help desk on the app and tell them what version of Android you have and what hardware. Nassau County spokesperson. Coincidentally enough, Hochul just got 1.5 GW from the public utility proposal. Gigabiologist. If you want to sail the sea and avoid paying for any streaming service, search for the Reddit piracy megathread. What's so funny about that?
It's just funny. 2025. Like, it's just readily available on Reddit.
Two more. Ramona Frankenstein. Hey, I'm Mark Crow. Just wanted to let you know that I was asked by some people to clip my call last week, and it has gone a bit viral on NH Talk.
Ooh.
Thank you guys for the numbers, and thank you for allowing me the platform to discuss New Hampshire politics. It means a lot. Also, Emma, not only did you crush it on CNN last night, but goddamn, you were serving face and hair. Honestly, queen shit. Stay winning, girly.
They did that for me, so thanks to the makeup and hair people there.
And the final IM of the day. Co-star, NFT punks, F off. Matt, Brian, Emma, great job today. Folks, see you tomorrow.
It might take all the strength I got to get to where I want, but I know somehow I'm gonna get there. I wasn't looking when I just got caught between the truth and the light bar, but finding out won't make me feel any better. Yeah, I know the clock is ticking, but the meds are gonna kick in, and my pilot light shining bright. I get somewhere the choice was made, for the option where you don't get paid, for the road that bends before it finally breaks you. I guess somehow I lost my drive between the 101 and the 5. Do you know how far the detour takes you? Yeah, I know the clock is ticking, but the meds are gonna kick in, and my
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.